Hey, today we're going to talk about the Polaroid i2 camera and how to repair it when things go wrong. I've done extensive reviews on this camera here. I really like it. I think it's a nice addition to the line of current Polaroid cameras. But the one really big problem that I had with this camera, and not just me, lots of people have this problem, is the built-in battery. What happens when the battery dies? Is it going to be something that you and I can change and fix ourselves? And I was hopeful, if you remember in the videos, that the battery was at a place in the camera that would be easily, or at least reasonably easy to fix. So Polaroid teamed up with iFixit, and iFixit is going to be carrying a whole set of replacement parts, panels, and a proper battery to replace in this camera. Now, I found out this information last night. I was having a couple of cocktails, and I was on the Instant Camera Guy's photography website. By the way, if you don't subscribe to his channel, you should if you're into all things Polaroid. It's a really great wealth of information. And Jake was talking about announcing that he had, that they had released this information, and he was really excited. I got really excited, and then I decided to click on the instruction manual on how to do it. And wow, it's like 2 to 3 hours. You have to take this camera and completely deconstruct it to get to the battery, which, by the way, you can see right up in there. That's the battery right up in there. But in order to get to that part, the entire camera has to be taken apart. And there are so many things in the steps on how to take this camera apart that I, for one, would never in a million years do. There's just too much to go wrong. And at 2 to 3 hours, if I'm hiring a service technician to replace that battery using the steps that is outlined on iFixit's site, I might as well buy another camera. We're literally talking about bad engineering. The engineering of where this battery was put. I think they didn't think about people wanting to change it to have this camera live beyond 3 and 5 years. And I find that really frustrating. So I'll put a link to a video that Jake posted this morning where he goes into, and it's very thorough and very comprehensive, showing where the battery is, the complexity with it, and comparing it to other Polaroid cameras, and on why this is just such a crazy mistake on the part of Polaroid. I'm hoping technique out there that we can do to make this better. Because we know where the battery is now, we know how it's held in there, and we do have replacement panels. Is it possible to MacGyver a door here, to build a door or some sort of system that would be easier to get to the battery? I do think we would still have to probably pull the camera apart at least once in order to free it from the adhesive tape and the strap that it has holding it in. But that could be a way to maybe make this camera more legacy proof. It's also frustrating because, as you know from my reviews, this camera only uses the internal battery in order to run the film. Unlike modifications by Chromatic Parts, by Instant Camera Guy, by other companies who allow both setups, where you can use the internal battery in 600 speed film or the built-in battery, this camera is built-in battery only. So at some point, I'm thinking 3 to 5 years, the camera's not going to function too good, and you're going to need to put that new battery in. And I'm hoping that someone can come up with some sort of door system or anything that doesn't make it to where we have to have a 2 to 3 hour repair just to replace a stupid $35 battery. Just seems insane to me. So again, there is a fix to maintaining this. If you've got a cracked bottom plate, top panel, whatever, all those parts now are for sale, and that's really great. But I, for one, am profoundly disappointed that the battery fix is going to be so difficult. I'll put a link to the Instant Camera Guy's YouTube channel if you want to watch everything about the complexity of this camera and why this is such a debacle. I encourage you to do so. Thank you very much for listening. Now go shoot some film.